Hey wrestling fans, this is Rick Blade telling you to tune in to BJ and DG, best wrestling talk on YouTube.
Welcome back, everybody. BJ here, DG there. Somewhere.
What's going on? I'm here. Don't worry.
Disembodied voice of the day.
I was just told what I'm currently wearing last week was banned, so I figured I'd start off camp first because I am wearing my Cowboys jersey only due to the fact that, well, I was told it was banned from here, so you could call it playing seeds for a heel turn. We'll see what happens.
Hey, sure.
Go Birds.
But yeah, and then sometimes, as always, Chef the Ref.
Go Giants, since we're shouting out our football teams. Getting that first win of the year over the Chargers. Cheers.
And a lot to talk about this week. So, whenever you're ready, sir. Chef, down there.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's, go ahead, ring that bell. Let's get this started. Sorry, referees have been having a rough week this week.
Well, I guess we should start off on that note, huh?
Let's do it.
Should I cue the graphic for this? I feel like
should.
I might go.
I
Here
think
it
you
comes.
need to. Here.
Boy, so anybody who watched Smackdown this week saw one of the worst endings that could happen in a wrestling show, especially being nationally broadcast, and that was the end, which was the main event, the end of the WWE Women's Championship match this week, with Tiffany Stratton defending against Jade Cargill and Nia Jax. Now,
Already a throwing match.
and we get down toward the end of the match. The whole match falls apart after a spot from Nia with the ring steps, hitting Jade with them, and Jade gets seriously busted open. You know, then we get a Samoan slam on the steps to Nia from Jade, which was really impressive still, by the way. But that's what you could tell, because just the mats down there and on the steps, you could see that she was just leaking blood. And Nia gets back in the ring, Jade gets back in the ring, and she hits a black hole slam. 1, 2, Nia kicks out. Tiffany gets back in the ring, gets Jade out of the ring. So now at this point, we assume that Jade's being checked on by the doctors in that meantime. And Tiffany goes like she's stealing the pinfall win. 1, 2, referee's hand swipes, misses the mat, but Nia didn't kick out. It's about good 2 seconds later before Nia kicks out. And in that 2 seconds, you see Nia say something to the ref. I don't know what was said. I'm assuming something along the lines of, should I have kicked out or something like that.
What it looked like.
And we do eventually get the kick out. And then Tiffy drags Nia to the corner, hits a standing elbow drop, hits the prettiest moonsault. 1, 2, 3, match is over. Now, my problem with this whole thing is, and this is somebody it's coming from somebody who's learning to be a referee. And one of the first things I was told is, and I asked this question, what if I know the match isn't supposed to end and the talent doesn't kick out? What do I do? Anybody? Does anybody on this panel think they know the answer to that question?
You count the pin.
Yes.
No, you just swipe and pretend.
No matter what, you count the 3. And I understand maybe I'm peeling the curtain here back a little bit. But in reality, that is what you do. It is worse enough when it comes to watching, especially WWE, of how highly scripted it is. That something like this does happen. Now, if the referee does count the 3 in that situation, it doesn't affect the ending. You're getting the winner who was supposed to win. You're still getting the face-off moment with Stephanie Vaquer setting up Crown Jewel, which should be a really good match. And that's not what anybody's going to remember. If it wasn't for NXT No Mercy last night, which I really can't wait to talk about later, because that was a fantastic show beginning to end.
Some of us may or may not have remembered it was on.
we won't say no name, Chef. But in the end, you count to 3 and you sort it out in the back, regardless of the situation. And I've seen a couple reactions from a current WWE referee and a former WWE referee. Charles Robinson gave a little bit of insight when he's counting. He always counts and yells the number, says 1, 2, and then he'll say kick out. After he says 2, so the talent knows they're supposed to kick out.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jimmy Corderas had the exact same reaction that I had. No matter what, you count to 3, you sort it out in the back. That is what you do, because it jeopardizes already a sport where they are athletes. They are fantastic athletes. It is a scripted sport with predetermined outcomes, a lot like the NFL last season with the Chiefs.
Until they got to the Super Bowl, at least.
Yeah, and then ref turned their back on them, and we were all happy to see it. The turn we were truly waiting for last year was the refs to turn on the Chiefs, and it happened. But anyway, I yelled at my TV when this happened. Like, it was absolutely insane to see, especially from a referee in the WWE. Regardless if you know the finish or not, you have to protect the sport at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
You have to count that 3. Because it's live TV and everybody likes to throw around the term botch or whatever. It is live TV. Mistakes are going to happen, granted. But this is a huge one. It happened in the main event. And it's the last thing fans are seeing. Because, again, what are fans going to talk about? Are they going to talk about the very end of the show with Vakir and Stratton facing off with each of their championships? Or are they going to remember a finish that got messed up? And very badly messed up. And even before we went live, as something that was a discussion during SummerSlam, that even went to our next week, was during Becky Lynch and
Lyra
Valkyria, the spot with the zip ties.
Yep.
How, her hands came out and they had to really go real quick. We talked about what they could have done and just had her re-zip tie her hands just as quick. And we were one of the worst spots of the year, and was our conversation. And at this point, I think it goes to SmackDown over that, because that match wasn't the last thing we saw on that card. We had plenty of other stuff to take us out of that, away from that moment and into another moment. Which doesn't say that weekend, that wasn't the only thing we argued about that weekend overall. But it was still the point, as wrestling fans, we see these things. And when those moments happen that take us out of the moment, and what was the Women's Intercontinental title match that night was a great match. It just had too long of a spot where they stayed on it for too long, and it pulls everything away from it.
Yeah. Stephen Chambers in the chat makes a good point. A lot of miscommunication in that match. Either way, it makes both Nia and the ref look bad.
Yeah, no,
all those are facts.
I see, again, if not, so the idea is here that not that Nia had a brain fart. The fact that Jade was supposed to come in and make the save in that situation, break up the pinfall, and then Jade gets thrown out the ring or whatever, and we go to the finish, and the match ends. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing is the ref should have been conscious enough to know that Jade is most likely getting checked on by the doctors at ringside, because we had already seen it in that match right afterwards.
Yeah. Nia doesn't know she doesn't have to kick out because of a save she's expecting that's not coming. So, if she had known, she might have kicked out.
And the referee, as Charles Robinson said, he tells them to kick out if he knows something's going to get screwed up, to make sure that they know.
Little H.
It just doesn't only take you out of the moment to a fan that doesn't understand pro wrestling, especially younger fans. Mm-hmm. I'm talking the ages 5 to 10, right? Where you still have that belief in stuff. You still believe in things, and you make even those fans look like, hold on. I know what I just saw. I've been watching long enough to know that this match should be over now.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it would have made sense or not as the finish, because as I said, she just kicked out of Jade's Black Hole Slam. Barely. So Tiffany following up with another pinfall should have been another kick out.
Yep. Yeah,
And
either that or drop the arm.
And for me also, just the idea that SmackDown wasn't a bad SmackDown by any means. It was a good show, and it was going up against TNA Victory Road as well that night.
Which I actually did watch instead.
It's just, I expect more for WWE refs, because it wasn't all that long ago that the conversation was about AEW referees and how much they mess up. You know what? At least they count to 3.
Yeah, there's that. That goes a long way.
They might not be able to count to 10, but they can count to 3. And a referee isn't supposed to be the spotlight of any match unless it's scripted to be that way. And we've seen it at times with Earl Hebner back in the day and stuff like that, where the referee's scripted to be part of the story, even if it's just for a short
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
time. Aubrey Edwards in AEW with the whole Jarrett thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though some fans will say she kind of got herself into it, which again, a referee, the spotlight should never be on. They should be off to the side, doing their job, because the spotlight should be on the competitors in the ring.
Yeah, the best referee is the one that you don't know is actually there until the match is over and they're raising the arm of the winner.
And, you know, like I said, I'm very early in learning how to be a referee in pro wrestling. But, you know, it's not a long list of things you need to know how to do to start. You need to know how to count to 3, 5, and 10. And know no matter what you keep going, you preserve what of kayfabe there is left, especially you're in WWE or AEW.
Yep.
You know, because on the indies, I will say from firsthand experience going to shows, kayfabe is all but alive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
you know,
that willful suspension of disbelief is, we're all about it on the indies.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was a very, when we talk about things that happen that take you out of the moment. Mm-hmm. I mean, the match wasn't all that great to begin with. It was an okay match. It wasn't all that great.
It was happening.
Yeah. And I think part of that is also because, as I've said before, why does Nia keep getting these championship opportunities? It seems like Tiffany gets a new opponent, and then it's Nia again. It's a new opponent, then it's Nia again. It's a new opponent, then it's Nia. Like, can we stop going back to that well? Like, there are plenty of other things that Nia could be doing. And there was a moment where she went to NXT for like 2 weeks. I was like, oh, cool, they're going to send her back down there to work with some of the younger talent. You know, to get her out of that title picture. Oh, no.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
No, not at all. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have plenty of other stuff to talk about this week.
Yeah.
We
it wasn't all just that.
We got No Mercy and TNA Victory Road to talk about. We have the announcement that was made on Dynamite this week of a women's tag team championship division.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be very nice. So, do we want to start off there since we've got it mentioned?
You know, I actually
women's tag team division, or did you have another spot? Because I think we could speculate on some teams that we could be forming here.
In the chat, Nia and XCB. Yeah, you know, that made sense of that, but I felt like there could have been more that could have gone with that story in the long run. And it was just to keep her on TV for a couple weeks. Because in the end, that really did nothing for Lash Legend. Her moment was eliminating Nia.
Mm-hmm.
But Lash Legend, I expect big things from in the future. As everybody knows, I am a fan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've been hearing you say that for at least a year and a half now.
Well, at least I mean, for you guys, yeah, like a year and a half. But on here, almost a year, because November will be a year we've been doing this now.
Mm-hmm. Coming up quick.
But yeah, the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship. The big announcement from Tony Khan past week on AEW. There aren't a lot of teams at the moment. You know, we got Triangle of Madness. We got Ty J.
Mm-hmm. We seem to have Chris Statlander, who has her own singles belt, but she and Harley Cameron seem to have a little thing starting up there.
Yes. So
if Britt Baker shows back up, do you think she could have a hygienist in tow?
You know, and that's another thing that has kind of grinded me. They were, I think, in Pittsburgh this past week or last week or whatever, and there was no Britt Baker return. Like, what is going on? Like, either release her or something, or maybe she's been quietly released and we don't know, and just
probably
never
just
was
letting
brought
her
up.
contract run out.
Yeah. Adam Cole just said, "Hey, just pay her to stay at home, okay? I just can't deal with this. I'm too emo for that."
He's not even on the road.
Yeah.
But a couple other teams, Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, Athena and Billy Starks.
Yes, the ROH teams.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, right? A lot of those teams are in Ring of Honor, so a lot of them we don't see regularly because, let's be honest, most people aren't watching Ring of Honor because they're not paying for another app at the moment.
No. Yeah. I'm paying for the TNA one. I'm good with that, but I'm not paying for the Ring of Honor one. But I think this will be a good way to get some of these lesser known women featured. Obviously, you'll be able to build them up, get their name out there, get them into some title contention so they can establish themselves correctly. And then, if you want to move them into the singles division, then that would be cool too, once they're ready to move on to that level. So I see this as just as long as you get the teams paired up with chemistry and you get the teams that are going to face each other, you book some good matches to get these titles on somebody initially, I see this as an all-around win situation for everyone.
Yeah, another team I thought of that if you were just to have a tournament and you have to put Mina and Tony Storm.
Sure, absolutely.
It seems like they've been pairing them up recently doing stuff. Mina, who is the interim Ring of Honor Women's TV Champion right now.
Yep, yeah, that's interesting that they had to put interim on that.
AEW needs to sign Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter.
You know what?
Hey.
I have no agree because hey, if Tony Storm can go to AEW and find a personality, so can they.
Yeah, they could possibly make the party gimmick work on AEW in a way they couldn't get it over in WWE. You're not wrong there, BJ. I give you credit for that call.
No, I agree with that. It's kind of like how Aleister Black was able to expand a little bit more there. We've seen people jump ship and be able to expand some. Look at Ricochet now.
Right.
Look at
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes isn't in AEW though.
He was. And that's where he expanded himself to the point where he came back to WWE and got that championship.
Well, yeah, because they finally saw the potential in Cody Rhodes as soon as he wasn't strung by Vince McMahon, making him Stardust.
And I gotta say, their AEW gimmicks are stuff you would never see in WWE.
Yes. For the most part, yes. I do
Except for the Hurt Syndicate, that was the same thing.
Yes.
I would say if we're looking at gimmicks that kind of started in AEW. And BJ, you're not going to be happy about this one. The one I think would work right now, above them all, would probably be Toni Storm. I think with the WWE theatrical way of doing stuff, that her gimmick could work there. It just would have to be scaled back and taking away a lot of the innuendos and the stuff she says.
I'm assuming,
doing that with
her gimmick is that, she says a lot of risque things.
Yes. But I'm just thinking about that in the terms of, because her gimmick, one of the first things I thought of was the vaudevillains.
Right.
Aiden English.
Before
Yeah.
their call up.
Yes, and how they had that completely old school way of doing stuff. And it does remind me of that because it's bringing something old back to being new again because nobody else is and whether you like it or not, the one thing it does with something like that is it makes her stand out because she's the only one doing it.
And interestingly, Simon Gotch said in that interview on the Spokecast way back, you got to ask yourself, why am I in wrestling? How do I fit into wrestling? And he had that like whole sideshow thing going on, that whole like circus act, strongman.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I just don't see them taking anything to that level of what Tony Storm is doing now.
No. I agree. Like a lot of things, like you would have to reword a lot of the risky things she says. Because I think there's like a good maybe 15-20% of it she could say in WWE because we've seen them kind of pushing a little bit now with certain things, but more than
Not
half
the Attitude
of it.
Era anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something to where I said AEW is more like, if I look at it in a ranking, I don't think they're number 2. In all honesty, right now I think TNA's number 2, and that's just because I feel like they put on overall better shows. AEW focuses on the wrestling. They're more like New Japan. But also, in my opinion, I still stick with that they're like the king of the indies almost. They're that company that probably should be a big-time indie company with a TV deal. But instead, they got more of that money backing to be able to compete with the bigger companies. Because a lot of the styles of their matches and stuff are indie-style matches. A lot of high-flying spots, a lot of spots that pop the crowd. Not a lot of storytelling. And when we do get storytelling, it's either really bad or really good.
Yeah.
We don't get that middle ground stuff, Not
a lot in between now.
Yeah. But overall, I thought AEW had 2 good shows this week. Last night they announced the return of Kenny Omega.
Cool.
This past week, one of my favorite segments was before the 6-man tag with the Callis family. Don Callis revealing his new painting.
Oh, yes.
And they wheel the painting out. They go to unveil it, and it's the return
It looked
of
rather
Orange
large
Cassidy.
for what was supposed to be a flat painting, didn't it?
That was hilarious.
Yes.
Absolutely great. And everybody knows me. I'm a huge fan of Orange Cassidy. I kind of look at him almost as the Deadpool of pro wrestling, and breaks that fourth wall with a lot of his style and everything. I'm just kind of hoping we are getting the evolution of Orange Cassidy and not him just going back to being the carefree one. Like, I like Orange Cassidy with a mean streak.
Yeah.
That's an Orange Cassidy that was an international champion.
Yep.
And I would love to see him with gold again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he definitely knows how to carry a belt, knows how to elevate that belt now, because he definitely did that when he was carrying that international championship for as long as he did. And yeah, strap some gold on him that you want to be a little more established. Watch it rise.
Yeah. Other stuff this week. Adam Page defended the AEW World Championship in an open challenge and retained against Lee Moriarty. We had an FTR promo about what they did at All Out and stuff. I enjoyed the video package as well with Adam Copeland and Christian after their match. And he was talking about, I have to go home, I have to go be with my family. And then he told Christian he still has family when he said he doesn't have one no more. I think that's definitely setting up them as a tag team whenever Cope returns. And if he doesn't, I really hope he shows up in WWE and could be one of John Cena's last opponents. But I do think he has a pretty long contract. Or not a pretty long contract, but one that still will be going.
I don't remember when exactly he signed up with AEW. I know it's been a couple years now, but I don't remember when he signed. I feel like they announced something with the deal, but details clearly escape me.
We got a video package hyping the return this week on the 6th anniversary of Dynamite and AEW for Jurassic Express to return. I'm very interested to see what this team will look like now, because I don't want to see Jack Perry going back to being Jungle Boy. Despite how the majority of the online wrestling community did not like this version of Jack Perry, I absolutely loved it. I thought he finally was able to come out his shell. And I believe if CM Punk had stayed in AEW and they were able to legitimately turn that into an angle, that they could have used him in a CM Punk feud and actually propelled him to be at the top of the AEW card. Or at least be in that Chris Jericho spot where he's TNT champion but can always step up to whoever's world champion.
Yeah, good to see him back. He doesn't seem to want to shave the beard, so he's not going back to that clean-cut Jungle Boy that we once knew back in early AEW. Kill Switch now, once again, Luchasaurus, after throwing that belt into the audience. I could see him just staying with a darker persona, not going with that light green and gold motif that he used to have, keeping with the black, maybe a darker, earthier green instead of like straight black. But yeah, I don't see them being that bright Jurassic Express that they used to be.
Alright, somehow I missed all this in chat here. Oh, another tag team that was named Riho and Yuki. Statlander versus Tony Storm. One-on-one, but I'm glad to see Chris Statlander with that championship. She's been there for 5 years. I was just surprised of how they did it. That's all.
Well, she's one of those women. When I think of AEW, the women's division, Chris Statlander is one of the women who helped to make that division what it is today, and she absolutely deserves that belt. So,
if he did only sign a 2-year deal, that means his deal would be coming up.
Okay.
So,
so if it was a
hoping
2-year
against
deal,
Hope.
we'll see. Yeah.
And then the main event of the
Hoping against Cope.
Dynamite this week was Chris Statlander defending her championship against Mina, and it was I thought they had a fantastic match. The end of that show was where everything really came together. Statlander retains. You get Wheeler Yuta in the ring celebrating with her, and then Harley Cameron out there as well. And then you get Statlander taking out Wheeler. Shafir she tells Cameron to run and get out. Get out of the ring.
You're forgetting the whole part where it looked like Statlander might actually be joining the Death Riders.
Well, we've been talking about that for a couple of weeks.
But they really made you wonder about that. You've jumped over that whole part where Wheeler's there.
Because it's the
it
Death
looks like
Riders.
she might actually attack Harley, and instead she does go after Wheeler. So you skipped over that whole part. You didn't even mention all that. There was drama. There was tension. What was going to happen, man? My God. I'm done.
Okay, moving on. Continuing this. So we get the clothesline to Wheeler, and we get Shafir attempting to attack her. She misses. She ducks it, and then gets right up, and Statlander gets up in Mox's face and just flips him off. And then just runs out of the ring, and Harley and her leave through the crowd. And then we get Darby, as they're leaving, we get Darby Allin's music hitting. And we get him coming out with a flamethrower. And we have Mox who's sitting there like, I don't care. Shafir's like, nah, man, come on, let's go. This guy got a flamethrower. You're many things, but you're not fireproof. And we get Darby challenging Mox to an I Quit match at Wrestle Dream.
Yeah, you gotta figure that flamethrower is going to play into that.
Well, at this point, I've started thinking as soon as that flamethrower came out, some type of Inferno match or something. Something just completely off the walls.
Having flashbacks to Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton.
I always think of Vince McMahon's teddy bear.
As long as it's not flashbacks to the Pitch Black match with Bray Wyatt and LA Knight.
But yeah, AEW slowly getting better week to week. like I just think overall their shows, I feel like right now, and I'm going to say this, and if this were to go, I think that AEW has a much better 2-hour product than Raw or SmackDown right now, to where it can keep my attention.
No.
Why would you say something so controversial yet brave?
There's a little more unpredictability,
Like they're not as cookie cutter. They're not the stories aren't there, but they're not as cookie cutter.
What I was going to say is the stories sometimes are just come and go. With WWE, no matter how much something is missing, they'll stick with it.
Yep.
Yeah, because they'll figure out how to get it over, or they'll allow the guys in the ring to get it over.
There's a lot of things AEW tries and abandons.
The end of Collision this week, we're getting a women's blood and guts match coming up.
Cool.
Apparently, I haven't seen anything about this, but once I know more,
I guess that means they'll still be undefeated.
Well, that just means now we get the hologram clone.
Phonogram?
Clonogram.
Clonogram.
But yeah,
Holochrome.
I think now what we should do is talk about some NXT, because NXT is going to lead us into a good bulk of what this show's probably going to be today.
Sure.
And NXT this week, very good show. Again, I still think it's the best product that WWE puts out on a weekly basis again, because it doesn't feel like it has that same format as the main roster. And NXT kicks off with a match, literally. Like, they get to the arena, and the fight's already started between Miles Bourne and Lexis King, practically. He's making his entrance, and Miles Bourne, you see him hit the switch in the entranceway. Lights out match. Let's go. And that was a fun match. That was a good kick to the show. We have Miles Bourne beat Lexis King. Mm-hmm. And now I feel like we can move on from this finally.
No, they're at 1-1. we need a resolution.
I mean, we'll probably get it, but I think that resolution is going to be kind of delayed, if not stretched out a little bit, due to other things going on, which we will get to shortly.
Yeah, there is priorities.
So, usually I don't talk about many backstage segments or anything, but this week on NXT, it's all tying together to the end of the show. We get a segment where Ava is away this week, so we have Stevie and Mr. Stone talking to Ava on the phone, and they're talking about that there's this TNA wrestlers just showing up, walking around the back and everything. And throughout the night, every time there was a backstage segment, we see NXT or TNA wrestlers just casually hanging out about the Performance Center. Let me see here. We see during a Lyra and Tatum Paxley backstage segment, we see Steve Macklin and Victoria Crawford. During the segment with Chase U and the NASCAR guys, we see the Radicals in the background.
Plus Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry's always there at this point. I feel like he's an NXTNA guy. Like,
word is he's heading to WWE next year, so we'll see.
Yeah. We see Mike Santana showing up at one point during a match.
Well, not just a match, main event.
Well, no, he's seen showing up to the arena before that. They actually show. We had Jasmine Nix attacked by somebody random, which we don't know if that's related to either story, but is related to the Fatal Influence story. That now she's also been kicked out. But
I'm thinking that was JC Jane that did that to her.
I don't know, but her contract is up, and she has been written off since she didn't accept the new contract. She had posted a whole video on her Instagram about it, so we do know why.
Yeah, I heard she's retiring.
Okay. Well, Godspeed, Jasmine Nix. We hardly knew you.
So we have Adam Page coming out, cutting a promo, and something challenging, I guess, Dr. Wagner or anybody. Somebody in a Dr. Wagner match comes out, taps him out to an ankle lock. It's Tavion Heights.
Surprise.
nothing will ever beat a person in a WCW audience in a Sting mask. He takes the mask off and it's actually Sting. That's all I'm saying. That's hey,
better.
look, hey, guess what? It's not me. It's really me.
It's not me. It's you, me, you. However that works. I don't know.
Yeah. We also saw Xia Li and other TNA knockouts arriving. Like,
Not her name now.
Lee.
yeah. My brain still reverts back to that because it was simpler to type at the time.
That's fair.
Let's see. We had Jordan Grace and Ariana Grace, the Battle of Graces this week on NXT.
Yes. No relation.
And then that's where we got the weaponized steel cage match made after Blake Monroe came out.
Mm-hmm.
Just Dark State defeating Hank and Tank and Joe Hendry. And then during No Mercy, I think it was, we see a video package of him being interviewed. And it kind of seems like, he kind of sees what Dark State is doing.
Who's he?
And Joe Hendry.
Ah, okay.
To where me and BJ slightly talked about this. What if Joe Hendry were to turn heel and join Dark State?
Interesting. Do you just
Yeah.
flip the colors between his pants and shirt so he's got the light up top and the blue down the bottom now?
I don't know. But I'll still believe in Joe Hendry regardless. But the most interesting thing, which coming out NXT this week, at least for the beginning of the week, was the champion versus champion winner take all match.
Mm-hmm. Oba Femi versus Trick Williams.
Which
TNA
was
belt versus NXT belt.
Which was a fantastic match, by the way. I just want to say that was a fantastic match between them two. And
but you did have the TNA belt being defended between two WWE stars. Not a TNA star in that match at all. So, that rubbed those guys the wrong way.
Yeah, but at the same time, it got approved by Santino, and I would assume the owner of the head guy, Carlos Silva. So, hey, if they approved the match to happen for their championship to be defended, then, hey, it's cool with me. But, fantastic
the locker room's
match.
going to feel differently, obviously.
So, during this match, in the crowd from TNA, Moose, Steve Macklin, which if nobody knows, Steve Macklin's past with NXT, he was a member of the Forgotten Sons as Steve Cutler. Just to throw that with Buddy Murphy, and I still can't remember the third guy's name, and I refuse to look.
You'd forgotten that, son.
Jackson Riker.
There we go.
And that's the reason it's forgotten name, because he deserves to be forgotten.
TNA.
He deserves to be forgotten.
Yeah, he does, but let's not talk about that at all.
Exactly.
And then we see the inspiration. We get the WWE return of Matt Cardona in the crowd. We get Cedric Alexander, Victoria Crawford. Mike Santana is on commentary during this match. He just shows up and goes right to the commentary table.
And like 90% of these names have worked with WWE in some capacity.
Yes.
I think there are plenty of other names I have not mentioned that were there as
Eric Young,
well.
I think.
Yes. No, Frankie Kazarian is one of the few who was never actually under contract ever with WWE.
He had a match on TV, I think. He had a tryout match.
Yeah, but he was never
He was never signed, yeah.
Yeah, but we're getting through this match, and then there's a moment where Trick Williams is outside the ring, and he has a bit of a shit-talking moment with Mike Santana, and they start to fight. The match is now thrown out. Trick Williams wins by disqualification. That's the result of it. But what happens after?
Yes.
Yeah. Trick Williams and Mike Santana start fighting, which leads to every TNA star that is in this building hitting the ring. We get the NXT locker room cleared. And we have both the... Yeah. This show ends with both of these rosters just tearing it apart.
Yeah.
And
everybody.
now,
And meanwhile, while that chaos is going on, there's one person who's just kind
yes,
of
which I was about to get to. We see, the world is falling apart around this man, Ricky Saints, at the moment. And he's just casually walking over to the little podium where the NXT Championship is. Now, previous to all this happening, Oba Femi was thrown into the barricade by Trick and was down. So he's right there too. And while everybody's brawling, Ricky Saints goes over. He goes to pick up the championship, and then out of nowhere, you see Oba Femi's hand appear on the belt. He stands up, takes the belt.
Zombie out of a grave.
Oh, absolutely! It was filmed absolutely great to get two angles going at the same time at the end of the show, because you have all this fighting going on, security trying to split it up. And we just got Ricky Saints. All he's worried about is that NXT Championship. Whatever else is going on has absolutely nothing to do with him, and I absolutely love it. That man was
focus
focused.
Of mind. Would that pay off for Ricky this weekend at No Mercy? Would he remember to be at the show and watch it?
But really quick now, before we talk about No Mercy, we have to now talk about Victory Road for TNA.
Yes, we do.
Because
chronological order.
Yeah, a lot of this spills in all together.
Is it just me, or is this like the best thing going on in wrestling right now? Is this whole TNA NXT thing?
You're not wrong.
Now, just real quick, as I do agree, I feel like this is what the AEW TNA relationships should have been when they were still Impact.
Could have been.
Yeah, it should have been.
Yeah.
Like, AEW 100% benefited from that relationship, and TNA/Impact at the time did not benefit at all, outside of occasionally having Kenny on their show to defend that championship.
Yeah.
And the one thing now, anybody who's been following us since November of last year, I've been saying...
All two is.
Thank you,
both. This is something I've talked about with a lot of the cross, because now this has been happening for almost 2 years now, on and off relationship, where we got the full-blown relationship last year. Mm-hmm. And we've seen everything that's been happening. They didn't jump into this angle right away. They allowed this to slow burn and build to culminate into something, which is absolutely amazing to think that this doesn't feel forced.
Yeah.
Right? This doesn't...
It's been natural coming to this point.
Exactly, yeah. It's not like, what's this guy doing here?
Yeah, so, I absolutely love everything they're doing with this storyline. I love where it's going, which we will be talking about more. Mm-hmm. But let's get to the main show. I didn't watch the first couple matches. I didn't see the pre-show for Victory Road.
Okay.
But I thought to kick off the show, when I put it on, they showed the first match I saw was Order 4 versus The System.
Yes.
I thought that was a fantastic match. Agent Zero, if anybody does follow him on the indies, Bill Collier, absolutely monster of a guy.
Oh, yeah.
There are too many big bills out there.
Yeah, seriously.
It just works so well. I mean, we know a couple of Williams that are larger than, the average person, and, Big Bill's got that alliteration that just works so well.
Big Billy Gold.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a great opening match. I thought that was a great opening match to the show. Chef, what were your thoughts on Order 4 in The System?
Thought it was a solid start. You get a good match. You know who these competitors are. You know that they've been going at each other for a while now. You're going to get a good solid match between these two teams, and it set a tone for the show. It was the last of the pre-show matches there, and then they actually started the show proper. But it did a good job setting the tone for the rest of the night.
Yeah, which then again, after that match, we have a bit of a downer. Anybody who's watched WWE for the last 15 years, you know the name Dana Brooke. And if you're not fully familiar, she is now in TNA as Ash by Elegance, the whole Elegance brand. So if you still watch NXT, you've seen them on NXT in the past couple months and everything. Ash by Elegance, not long ago, finally won the TNA Knockouts Championship. A lot of hard work went into that for her. You know, rebuilding herself after being released from WWE. You know, coming up with this whole new thing. And we weren't given necessarily the reason why, but she has been forced into retirement and had to relinquish the TNA Knockouts Championship, which I hope all the best to Ash by Elegance in the future, and hopefully we do get to see her back in the ring in some capacity in the future. I just hope this isn't all for her on TV, because the Elegance brand storyline is entertaining, it is enjoyable, and I hope that she somehow becomes a manager of it or something, so that at least she can still be on TV and be in the world of pro wrestling.
Yep. Yeah, I fully admit when she got released from WWE initially, I was completely like, oh, okay, that was kind of expected. And then she shows up in TNA as Ash by Elegance, and I'm like, that's an odd name. I do not get it. But
this was also the same time that Timeless Tony Storm gimmick started.
Yes,
so we had both these starting and launching relatively around the same time frame.
Yeah. So I was a little confused with the Ash by Elegance. I'm like, what does that mean? What is that even? And so then you get it to where we are now, and it makes sense. The Elegance brand is a brand. She is Ash by Elegance. You've got Heather by Elegance. You've got M by Elegance. Ash went in there, built this from literally nothing to what it became, this whole brand faction. You've got the personal concierge in there, and it became something that I was looking forward to watching, just to see where everything was going, who they were going to be faced up against next, who was going to be elevated with the brand or against the brand. And yeah, it was starting to be a really fun time. I'm also a comparison to Toni Storm. She came up with a character that I actually started to care about, and it really kind of sucks now that that character is just being taken away from us. So hopefully she does come back, and if she does come back as still the leader of the Elegance brand somehow, like the CEO of the Elegance brand.
Yeah, she takes more like an official title. The concierge can still manage them at ringside, but she has like a backstage role where she helps them get their matches.
Yes.
And stuff like that.
So what's it, an undisclosed injury?
Yes.
Medical condition of some sort, yeah.
Yes.
Just like another undisclosed injury that might be ending the career of a female wrestler in WWE.
Yes, since we are on that, unfortunately as well, there's some rumors like this going around about Piper Niven at the moment, to the point that we've seen Chelsea now scouting to replace her and finding people to join. So we could expect a new member of that group at some point. I was going to get to that when we talked about Smackdown, but it was a good time to bring it up as well. Yeah.
That does explain why we've only been seeing Alba Fire out there as the Secret Harvest lately.
Yeah, so after the title was relinquished, we were told that what was supposed to be a Knockouts Tag Team Championship match tonight has been pushed to Impact this week. Because now, tonight, they will be crowning a new TNA Knockouts champion immediately. Yep. And they are going to do a Knockouts Battle Royal where the final two will go on to have a one-on-one match later in the night. This field consisted of Maggie Lee and Heather from By Elegance, Jody Threat, Jessica McKay, Cassie Lee, The Inspiration, Danny Luna, Zaya Brookside, Lee Ying Lee, and from NXT, Kalani Jordan.
If that's not telegraphing a move, I don't know what is.
Yeah. And I was going to make a joke and realize that it wouldn't be very cool right now.
Well, we get down to the last two of that, and it was Kalani Jordan and Lee Ying Lee, who will later on in the night have a match. So we'll skip forward a little bit and talk about the match since we are on it.
Yeah.
And what was a really good match between the two. Your winner and the new TNA Knockouts champion from NXT, Kalani Jordan. NXT has now reclaimed the Knockouts championship.
Yeah, they've got about half of the gold from TNA at this point over on NXT. So
Well,
yeah,
they got two belts. It's not half the belts.
TNA's going to
I'm
have to
being
start inventing
hyperbolic.
belts so they have something for their show.
But there is some other interesting
Digital
things.
media.
Well, that became their international championship.
Right.
Kalani Jordan's worked very hard. I think that hopefully she is a good champion. I don't see why she wouldn't be. I think there's a lot of great matches over there for her to have, and however long this title run will be.
I think she'll be at least as good as JC Jane was with it.
But as I said, for anybody under the WWE brand that gets any of these championships at this point, when they get called up, they will now have the recognition, just as Trick Williams, Kalani Jordan, or JC Jane will have, to be already a former world champion.
Yep.
In their respective division, which is a really big deal, especially for somebody like JC Jane. Because I still do see her as the third wheel, and that's very unfortunate. Because I think without the help, she's not a champion.
True.
And that's not even booked. That's just how the booking's been. So hopefully that improves sometime in the future. Now, very interesting. Kalani Jordan's opponent now at Bound for Glory was also the referee for that match in Indy Hartwell. Indy ref.
Indy reffing.
Like I said, I'm very happy for her. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, especially with what we will be talking about after we run down this. We will be running down No Mercy and how all this will come together. The next match we didn't have at that point, going back, was the Hometown Man and Matt Cardona taking on the Namaths.
Hometown Man. I love that. That might be my favorite new gimmick of 2025.
Yeah, it's fun. It pops the crowd, And the Hometown Man, Matt Cardona, beat the former TNA Tag Team Champions in the Namaths.
Yep.
We had...
There might be something to that team in the future. Or it could have just been an awesome one-off. Who knows?
And then another match that I thought was pretty good on this card was Mike Santana versus NXT's Ridge Holland, who was sent specifically by Trick to take out Santana.
Yeah. And this is the first time we've seen Ridge Holland in how long?
He's been doing a lot of stuff with Evolve.
Okay.
So I know I've seen a couple clips of him wrestling there recently.
I had still forgotten about him until this week.
Evolve is essentially the step under NXT, but it's more for like the WWE ID guys and gals to be able to have time with roster people and actually
like
build
between
up.
LFG and NXT.
Yeah, kinda. We had Trick Williams come out and attack Mike Santana after the match. So, we have this story continuing. They will have their match at Bound for Glory, which now, with everything that has happened, I kind of question which way that could go now. So I always thought Bound for Glory would be the end of this. And I think that this whole thing has picked up some new life. In the chat, Wyatt Wrestling, how you doing, buddy? Had a lot of fun this past Thursday, which, by the way, in your stream, Wyatt did King of the Ring style tournament for what he calls the Wyatt's List. And it was a very fun, it was randomly picked superstars for each person that entered. I made it to the finals of my bracket with Umaga before losing to Jey Uso. Unk had to put his nephew over real quick. You know, I think it was the match of the tournament. Definitely. Go give Wyatt Wrestling a follow.
There it is.
On YouTube and Instagram. He does recaps of all the shows during the week, Raw, SmackDown, and all that. He does a lot of this fun stuff using the WWE 2K games. It was fun being in the chat for all of it. I also actually did cut a promo for it as well.
Nice.
Definitely go give him a follow.
Cool. Ooh, that's a lovely color on that Yangling Oktoberfest.
Yeah, not too reddish, not too dark.
By the way, just real quick, because the next thing coming up, because I had to pull up the results, was something I absolutely loved. And when me and Chef, we work together, and Friday mornings is when we watch TNA to start our work day while we're getting ready for everything.
It's a nice little routine.
Yeah. And there's one thing I always say when this comes up, and it's the TNA injury report. I absolutely love it.
I love it.
It's one of my favorite things that they do. It's such a small thing, but at the same time, it's such a big thing when you want a bit more of a sports feel.
Like, how great would it be in WWE to hear, like, Ilya Dragunov is back to working out and making his recovery.
Oh, I can't wait. He's been gone for so long, I can't wait for him to return.
By the way, Dragunov Rusev, book it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm there for that.
Oh, man. It was one of the greatest crash outs I've ever seen on the internet. And when he came back, it was even better. He had the Fiend music playing in the background as the camera came back up. It was all in good fun. It was a very fun time, you know. We were both competitors in the tournament, and, you know, I was talking my smack. He was talking his smack. He got a little too much into it. That's okay. He ended up cooling off, having some pizza rolls and some sugar-free Kool-Aid, and we were right back on track, all right?
He drank the Kool-Aid, eh?
Which, Wyatt Wrestling, again, thank you for featuring me, allowing me to be in the tournament. It was a great time. But, yes, back to some TNA talk. The next match that followed was Moose versus Mustafa Ali, with Order 4 banned from ringside. And this was a fantastic match.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic match. And Moose has the match won so Mustafa Ali had dancers come out with him, and they, at some point, at the end of the match, one of the dancers gets in the ring, hits Moose with a low blow, allowing Mustafa Ali to pick up the win. And
something looked familiar about that dancer.
yeah, she looked like the current PWU Women's Champion. You know,
Tasha. Good job.
Yeah, as she lifts the mask up and winks the eye, like way to do that and let everybody know that you interfered in the match. You know. But I really thought that was a fantastic match. It was one of my favorite matches on the card, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun one.
Yeah. And then we had Eric Young and Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry picks up the win, obviously.
Yeah,
but
I actually did not expect that. I expected Eric Young to win that one.
So did
That
I.
surprised me that Joe Hendry got the win on it. I figured, you know, it would draw out the feud a little more. There'd be more storyline to explore there if Eric Young had gone over. What could he have done to Joe Hendry's psyche at that point? You know? But now, okay, Joe Hendry beat Eric Young. Okay, so we move on to what next? We'll see, I guess. But, hey, don't get me wrong. I'm happy Joe Hendry got the win, but I feel like the story would have been better served.
You know what? I do have a whole thing, which we will talk about with Joe Hendry a little bit later. We kind of brought up the Dark State thing with that video package they showed with him. But it's going to be very interesting considering that we know his contract situation, what it's going to look like end of this year, early next year. So it's very interesting to see how
it's going to make the bidding war of 2024 look like a joke.
Wait. That wasn't
Remember
a joke?
the bidding war of 2024?
That wasn't a joke? But yeah, the next match we get after that, which was set up earlier in the show, Matt Hardy versus AJ Francis in a tables match, which the reason being is to preview what will be at Bound for Glory, the last time the TNA World Tag Team Championships will be on the line. The Hardys defending against Team 3D to possibly win their 25th Tag Team Championship, which is a match I wish I could go to. I really wish I could.
Yeah, it's in the Dudley's style of match, the one they made famous, the tables match.
And they even make clear on Impact that when they did that match, that the Hardys are undefeated against the Dudleys in tables matches.
And it bothers them.
Yes. I like how they were able to get that in there, because now it creates that little bit of interest in the idea that, wow.
It's like, it's not just one last match. It's not just one last match for us. This is something that we have a 25-year vendetta over. So we're still pissed off about that. We still need our comeuppance.
Yeah, and then after that, which we had the women's championship, the Knockouts championship match, which we already talked about. Kalani Jordan winning that championship. After that, we get Steve Maclin defending the TNA International Championship against Frankie Kazarian.
Yes, we did. That was a pretty damn good match, you know? Pretty much exactly what you expect between two guys like Maclin and Kazarian.
Yeah, and you and me had talked about this after watching Impact this week, that it seemed like they were gearing up.
All signs pointed to Maclin gearing up to lose that belt.
And which Frankie Kazarian picks up the win. New international championship. Or champion, not championship.
The king has got a new crown, baby.
We also had El Messias. I think I said that right. Okay. At ringside, distracting Steve Maclin, which leads to that ending. So,
hey,
which you know, if it was any other company, it would be very interesting that we see a AAA talent show up on TNA. But
I'm pretty sure El Messias was King Cuerno from Lucha Underground.
Okay. You might be right on that.
I know he was a part of Lucha Underground. I'm pretty sure he was King Cuerno. He also had a huge rivalry with Abyss back in like 2007.
Okay. Oh, that was a great feud. I actually remember that.
Yeah, Judas Messias.
Yes. And then our main event of Victory Road. Leon Slater versus Myron Reed for the X Division Championship.
Yeah, which not a bad match.
No. Was a good match, you know. It was what you would expect for both these guys.
Yeah. Not as X Division-y as other X Division Championship matches have been, but still a good match. But it was really what happened after the match that was the big story.
So, Leon Slater retains the championship.
As expected.
And then we get a message from NXT's own Javon Evans. And it is announced by Santino that at Bound for Glory, it will be Leon Slater defending the X Division Championship against Javon Evans. And I have been clamoring for this match and willing it into existence. Like, since a lot of this relationship has gone to the point now where we see it more, I'm just like, how have you not had let these two have a match together on either program yet? Mm-hmm. And I think TNA is the proper place to do it. I'm kind of hoping that at Invasion, we somehow get also. We'll talk about that at some point. We haven't gotten that far yet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have one thing that would make this match way better.
What's that?
Guest referee AJ Styles.
Ooh, that would be fun. That would be a lot of fun.
You know what? I would even go as far as to say, even though he wasn't there, but we've seen him interact with Javon Evans, Sami Zayn as the special ref. But I would like AJ Styles more because there's more to it.
Yeah, AJ's got that big connection there.
And there's always that will he turn, thing.
Yeah. Will he go back to his TNA roots?
Right.
Feel that just primal call to his soul.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
But now, let's get to NXT No Mercy. Because now, everything we've talked about with these two shows, now this kind of comes together.
Let's get to N64 No Mercy.
Man, don't even. Just because you said that, I'm going to download an emulator and a modded version. And by tomorrow morning, I'll have modded No Mercy.
You're welcome.
Look what you started, man. Look
I don't
what
have
you
the right
started.
technology to do that. I need a computer. I used to
Yeah.
mod No Mercy.
Yeah, there's emulators for Android.
Yeah, but not for
Yeah,
what
but
he
you can't
wants
mod
to
on
do.
them.
Not for what, yeah.
True. That's
So,
fair.
anyway, let's get back on the rails, people. We got a lot to talk about here. We
Right.
still have the top 10 of the PWI top 500 to talk about.
Oh, yes, we do.
So, NXT No Mercy kicks off with Javon Evans and Josh Briggs. This feud's been going for about a month and a half now, where it's really started to heat up. Javon Evans picks up the win.
Yep.
Your number one contender for the X Division Championship in TNA, essentially, at the moment. I thought that match pretty much went how I thought it would. Because now you got to build him up a little bit. Josh Briggs is a big win for him. I think Josh Briggs is finally starting to come into his own. And I hope that they really do give him more to do at some point down the road. I hope he's part of what will be coming. After that, we had the Speed Championship. It was originally supposed to be Soruka defending against Laney Reed. But the day before the show, Laney Reed got injured training and unable to compete. So, we have Jayla Parker taking her place in this match. And now, for those who aren't familiar, Speed Championship matches are typically 3-minute matches. Very, very fast-paced, very quick matches. If it's a Speed Championship match or a tournament finals match, usually it's a 5-minute match. It's really impressive to see how quick they can run through their progressions of moves and everything. And it was a very good match. We ended up having Lash Legend making an appearance, which kind of distracted Jada Parker and allowed Soruka to hit the Soul Snatcher for the win. Which she times that move so well. But can we please scale back the cutters a little bit?
It's one of the more impressive looking versions of it out there, though. Like, by far.
Yeah.
The way she does it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We had a weaponized steel cage match between Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe. That was a fun match to see. All the different weapons and stuff.
Go back and watch this. If not for nothing else than just this match.
Not all honesty, for anything, it's for the main event.
Well, yeah, that's
for
too.
the main event. Jordan
How
Grace
often do you see women in a weaponized steel cage match outside of the indies?
Right.
Yeah.
Like GCW every week, but otherwise.
Yeah, this ain't Mickey Knuckles.
So we got Jordan Grace and beats Blake Monroe. I believe that makes them 1-1 now. How do you escalate this even further to a rubber band match?
Add rubber bands.
Hey, we'll just have a rubber band match.
Just have them stand across the ring and just pow.
Flaming barbed wire rope match.
Exploding barbed wire death match.
So, now, Ava does make an announcement after that match.
Okay.
But I would like to wait to talk about that and finish running down the card first. We have Lash Legend come out talking. She volunteers. All right, well, I guess I have to talk about that. So, After the weaponized steel cage, we get Ava addressing what happened on NXT this past week. She has said that she has spoke to Santino in depth about what to do about this. So, on October 7th, that edition of NXT, I do believe it will be, yes,
Yes.
will be
Tuesday
known
night.
as NXT TNA Invasion. In this card will feature, well, she announced 3 matches for it. 2 of those matches are Survivor Series tag team elimination style matches.
Hell
One for the
yeah.
men, one for the women, one team NXT, one team TNA. We are now beginning this actual war between these brands.
Yes. Here for it. Been here for it. Been waiting
Now-
for it. Got my popcorn.
Now,
Ball games.
Now, also announced as part of that card for both the NXT and TNA Tag Team Championships, it will be Dark State versus the Hardys. Winner take all. There must be a winner.
That presumes the Hardys are still title holders at that point, and it's not the Dudleys.
Bound for Glory takes place after.
Okay, so the Hardys will still be champions. So then the match between the Hardys and Dudleys presumes the Hardys will still be champions.
That just makes it more interesting. What if that match from Bound for Glory and the Hardys win becomes for both those tag team championships, and now the Dudleys become 25 and 26-time tag team champions?
I mean, it's a
Interesting.
retirement. So
If they, you're telling me if they win those titles, that they're not going to defend them?
Devon's on his deathbed.
No, he's not. If Devon was on his deathbed, he would. He would. Yeah. He looked really good for a dead man on Thursday. Let me tell you
So
what.
maybe he's not on his deathbed, but no, he's had recent, like, there's been a lot of people recently saying that he shouldn't do this, and like he's not in any shape to do this, and I mean,
Which
he
is why
retired
I
for a
think
reason.
which makes me think that's why they made it a tables match instead of a normal tag team match, because they can do a bit more and be a bit looser with stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
then,
it wouldn't make sense any other way with these two teams.
so
Yeah.
you guys, how do you feel about them bringing? And they used the original Invasion logo from WCW, so this is another old style thing being brought back.
Cool
What
with
is
that.
your guys' reaction to Invasion and what we already know we're getting on this card?
BJ, you go first.
I mean, I want to see what else pops up, but already, like, it has the makings of just an amazing card. And, like, this isn't the definitive. This is just the invasion. This isn't the end of the battle. You know what I mean? So we're going to see a lot after this. So, yeah, so far, it's stacking up to be an amazing card. I can't wait to see what they add. More multi-man, please.
Well, so far it's been all multi-person matches that have been announced. So let's see what kind of single stuff's going to happen on this too.
I mean, let's say a fatal four-way for one of the tag belts or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I love this idea. I love that it could, not that I'm saying it's going to, but let's say we get to the Royal Rumble, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
What happens, and I doubt it would happen, but what happens if a TNA star were to win the Royal Rumble and earn the right to go to WrestleMania?
Like, say Joe Hendry wins the Rumble and gets that main event at Mania slot.
Hold on. You just gave me an idea, and I have to say this now. So here's the idea, right? Because I flirted with the idea of the Royal Rumble being for the WWE Championship if Cena has still been champion and retired with the belt, right? So what if, let's just say this, Joe Hendry wins the Rumble, and he takes his Rumble win, and hear me out here, he wins the Rumble, but instead of calling for a title match, so that the WWE guys still get their championship matches, you're damn right I am, because that's what we all are. And Joe Hendry uses his Royal Rumble win, calls out John Cena for one more match at WrestleMania, and John Cena can go out on top at WrestleMania, win or lose. Dude, look, you picked the wrong one. The right one to pick would have been this one. All right, let's make that clear real quick. But the idea,
it's not
because
fair. I don't have memes to play with.
but just the idea of, hey, I'm willing to give this up. Now, my other thing with that would be, what if Randy Orton were to defeat Cody Rhodes? Because it was rumored at WrestlePalooza they dropped a storyline where Randy would come into the ring to help Cody and accidentally cost him the championship, putting the title on Drew McIntyre. Mm-hmm. So, just say, if Randy Orton was champion, Joe Hendry wins the Rumble and purposely picks Orton to win the champion. Not to win because I don't think he would win the championship. But I also feel like Joe Hendry's been NXT long enough now with the TNA crossover that you could surprise debut him somewhere on the main roster.
Yeah, he doesn't need to go to NXT once he's signed that WWE deal. Yeah, he's main roster ready.
They're going to strap a rocket to him as soon as they officially sign.
But I'm just saying, like, as an idea, he doesn't need to win the match at WrestleMania. You allow Orton to win, but now they actually have a legit match. It's not now a moment because we lost the Blood Feud match that Orton and KO were going to have. We
actually get some build.
Yeah.
Eventually, yeah. I'd rather see him somehow involved in other ways when he debuted.
No. I'm just saying, like, it would be something to where,
What if it's a heel Randy by that point? Because that
Yeah, so we've been saying that as fans for like 2.5 years now. With him, every time that he helps Cody, he looks at Cody's championship.
Yeah.
Like Cody stole his ex-wife or something.
And Cody's going to need something to do.
But yeah, let's get back to finishing up talking about No Mercy here. Also, let's see, where were we? We had a backstage interview with Lainey Reed talking about her injury, and then we had the North American Championship match. With Ethan Page and Tavion Heights, which I thought was an okay match. It wasn't what I expected. I thought their flag match was better personally.
Okay.
I really thought Tavion Heights would win this match, but Ethan Page ended up retaining. I thought it would have been a good time after the flag match to put the belt on him.
Nah, that's why they had him win the flag match.
But
so
then we have and then we have Dr. Wagner. Well, the son of Dr. Wagner.
Hijo, Dr. Wagner Jr. So it's Dr. Wagner the third, technically.
Yes.
Hio Day, Dr. Wagner Jr.
See.
He appears on the screen and challenges Ethan Page to a North American Championship match. After that, we get an interview with Miles Bourne volunteering to be the leader of Team NXT going against TNA.
Good call. I like that. He's proving himself lately.
We had recorded video packages. Like they were Instagram posts or whatever from Mike Santana and Moose talking about everything coming up. We had the NXT Women's Championship. This was another match I thought where a title would change. I felt like I don't know why they haven't pulled the trigger on Lola Vice having gold. I feel like she's earned it at this point. JC Jane retains. More interesting though, she is attacked right before the end of the match by a person in a mask dressed in all black. Now, what's her name? Fallon Henley is kicked out of ringside during this match. It could have been her, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Jasmine Nix,
Jasmine Nix is done with WWE. She's written off after being attacked this past week on NXT.
Yeah, I know. I just had to throw it out there.
I hope at some point Lola Vice gets a hold of that championship because I honestly think she deserves it. She's a believable champion with her MMA background as well, and she's proven herself. Mm-hmm. And that crowd is behind her.
Yeah. I mean, how could you not be? She's got charisma. She's got skill. She's got talent. You know, hard not to be behind someone with those qualities.
Yeah. But now, the main event of No Mercy. Oba Femi defending his NXT Championship against Ricky Saints. Now, real quick, did I screenshot that on my phone when I saw it earlier?
I couldn't
Which
tell
one
you.
is? Yeah, I got it too, but oh, there's my phone. I saw a stat. Oh, I did. All right. So, Oba Femi across both his North American Championship reign and his NXT Championship reign. Total days as champion, 537 days. 22 title defenses. Which means, as a champion, he defended that title on average every 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's solid defense work.
And the person makes a note to say that those matches were also bangers, and I absolutely agree. An Oba Femi match, since he's debuted, I'm just like, that's what I want to see. That's the big guys, like, you know, like especially him and Trick Williams, both as big guys are very fast. They're even Trick can hit power moves.
Yeah, he's what Vince wanted Omos to be.
Yeah. And also just looking at, as I was talking about last week, I really think Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar is a money match. It's just how do you get to that match? Because when you look
you
at
said
both,
it, money, throw it at Brock.
no, but I mean like storyline wise.
Oh.
Like a match, like for me, would be more of the idea. Let's say Brock Lesnar's next match, whoever it is, he wins. Oba Femi comes out and decimates Brock Lesnar on a PLE. You know, or Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock seems like he's just special attraction. He's not like back.
No. Brock Lesnar is special attraction, 100%. Like that's not even
just like back though.
Yeah, but you would. But anytime he feuds with somebody, there's usually somebody there speaking for him, or it's one person carrying the feud with him appearing every other week or every 3 weeks, depending on what the build is. So that, like, this is the same thing we would have talked about Roman Reigns a year and a half, 2 years ago. Never wrestling, and if he's not there, Heyman was out there talking for him. Which seems like if they're pairing them back up together at certain points, then, which Cody makes mention of on Smackdown this week. Who am I speaking to? The Oracle, the Wise Man, or the Advocate? You know, like, it's something to be said at the moment, because, and even then, Brock Lesnar not showing up, you can completely sell as he's scared of Oba Femi after getting decimated by him. Because how many people can we say have completely decimated Brock Lesnar in his career?
Not many.
And
Maybe
the last person I could say that I saw actually have an advantage going into a championship match against Brock was Samoa Joe when he choked him out at the top of the ramp on Raw and turned his face red. And that's when I started calling Brock Lesnar Brock Lobster. But
yeah.
But just as an idea of, I'm looking at that as, if you have Brock Lesnar back on your roster, that's a match that needs to happen.
Yeah.
And it can't be on a Raw, or it's not going to be on a Raw or SmackDown. It's going, even if you do it at the Royal Rumble, let's say, you know, something along those lines. It just should be a PLE match. And that's one I would even build Oba up for and do it at WrestleMania. Because that's the one time we know Brock will be around more. Will be the build, that last month build up to WrestleMania.
Call him
If
up
he wants
like
to.
2 years and I'm on board.
Yeah, it's got to be a couple of years of build up for Oba Femi before he gets Brock Lesnar. You can't just throw him there now.
But
I mean, now the question would come, the Oba Femi doesn't have to win that match. Oba Femi just has to look powerful in that match and look legit.
Even
But
so,
there has to be a reason for Brock to give a crap and want to have that match.
Yeah, the Oba Femi coming out and just, so let's just say
That's going to take a couple years for Brock to even register Oba on the radar. Let's be honest.
Or for that to keep
Let's say
Yes.
the current plans for Cena right now. His last match in December is against Brock Lesnar for him to pick up a win. He defeats Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar gets up and decimates Cena before he can celebrate and leave, right? Brock Lesnar doing Brock Lesnar things. You have Oba Femi come out and completely take out Brock Lesnar and put him on the shelf.
No, you don't.
Don't like it.
No, no one's doing
You know why you do that? Because nobody's ever done it. Brock Lesnar's the one. Somebody puts Brock Lesnar on the shelf.
It's dog crap.
Yeah, Oba Femi comes out, Brock laughs and walks away, and Oba Femi does nothing because he's scared. He's not
You're
there.
insane.
No.
Who has Oba Femi even shown fear against so far? You're taking the Rock in the hard place and making them fight. That's exactly what you're doing.
I'm not putting Oba Femi against Brock Lesnar for at least 2 years.
Same.
You mean like they should have done with Omos and they rushed it with somebody who wasn't athletic, who couldn't carry Brock Lesnar's jockstrap?
Exactly. Bingo. Exactly.
Oba Femi. So
don't
hold on.
I don't. Brock should have no. Brock should not give a crap about this.
All right, and The Rock shouldn't give. Hold on, and nobody should have given a crap about Brock Lesnar when he debuted in 2002 and ran roughshod over the entire roster.
Incorrect. Brock Lesnar was a beast coming out. We all knew that. We had anticipation for Brock.
And Oba Femi, is it? Oba Femi has dominated the complete NXT. That doesn't matter. We're talking about similar booking.
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar had the undefeated streak, but so did Oba Femi up to losing to Tony D'Angelo and the North American Championship.
Yeah. So Brock doesn't care though. Brock is there to collect money for a big match against John Cena. He does not care about a lowly guy like Oba Femi.
I'm telling you, you debut Oba Femi like they debuted Brock Lesnar. You got something there, and you got money for a guy who's going to be back on his way out probably after WrestleMania, having a big money match with a guy who's
on his way back out.
And who's going to have a big money match with somebody who's going to be the future of that company.
You're booking this like Brock is actually a full-time wrestler, which he is not. He has no interest in being a full-time wrestler.
I'm not talking about having an 8-month feud.
But you're booking it like Brock actually cares.
You don't think Brock Lesnar's going to be in the Royal Rumble? Oba Femi can eliminate and launch.
I don't think Brock Lesnar's going to be in the Royal Rumble. No, I don't.
No.
Why wouldn't Brock Lesnar be in the Rumble unless he has a match on the card?
Why would he be in the Royal Rumble?
Why wouldn't Brock Lesnar want to be WWE champion or World Heavyweight champion?
Why should he care?
Because he's rich and he doesn't have to work anymore.
He doesn't care about it anymore. He came back to beat John Cena. That was it.
Yeah.
Gene Cena? We got Gene Cena now. Everybody, we got Gene Cena. There's a new... John Cena's going to come back out of retirement as Gene Cena, just with a mustache. But no, I think that is a money... That is a money match.
Not Gene's
that should happen. And it has to happen sooner or later, especially because they're two roster guys. We're never going to see Brock
Lesnar again.
You're crazy. Brock Lesnar's Brock's under contract for the foreseeable future. That wasn't a one-off, and that's the truth because they keep mentioning him on TV. That wasn't a one-off for Brock.
Well, okay, sorry. We will see him again with the Cena feud, but after the Cena feud next year, we will never see Brock Lesnar again.
I disagree. I think there's still matches to be. I think there's matches to be had. There's matches to be had still.
Maybe if there's one big match somewhere down the line, we see Brock Lesnar again. But I don't think he gives a crap about the day-to-day WWE guys they're bringing up from NXT now.
He doesn't care about putting guys over.
No, he does not.
Care about any of it.
He doesn't.
That is a money match. Whether it happens or not, that's a money match to happen.
I don't think it's as money of a match.
Those are the two most athletic big guys they have on their roster, and Oba Femi's the one person that can.
When I'm playing 2K28 and Oba Femi's like on Smackdown, I'm gonna download Brock Lesnar and simulate that match, and maybe it'll be a banger. But until then, that's the closest we're gonna get to that match.
Yeah, Brock has no care about this at all. He's over.
And I understand where he's coming from. He thinks that would be a money match, but like, it's like saying that, like, you know, a single A baseball team and the Yankees would be a good match.
The Savannah Bananas versus the Yankees.
There you go.
On real MLB rules.
There you go.
You guys are crazy if you don't think that's a money match.
It's not
Oba
a money match. It would
Oba
be
Femi's the
interesting,
next
but it's not a
coming
money
of
match.
Brock Lesnar. And to have them two in the ring together having a match.
If you build him up for a couple years and he establishes himself as the new Brock
What do
Lesnar,
you think
sure.
they're doing? What do you
Then
think
Brock
they're
would
doing
be
in
a-
NXT right now?
He's got to build himself up like that on the main roster, though, for Brock to pay attention.
He's going to come to the main roster and decimate everybody.
And
So
after
why
a couple
not
years
give
of him
him?
doing that?
So why
after
not
a
give
couple
him
years
the
of him
big
doing that,
debut?
After a
Why
couple
not
years of
give
him
him the
doing
big
that,
debut?
Because Brock
Once he
doesn't
gets
care.
his main roster streak going, and that's past like a couple hundred, then like it would make a little bit of sense.
I'm just saying, there's no other big guy currently on the main roster
Rusev.
that could.
So
No.
let's bring Keith
No,
Lee.
I mean they would have. That would be a
anyone-
good match too. But I think Oba Femi beats Rusev.
Sheamus.
If anyone, we put Keith Lee and Brock Lesnar together because, they're beef in the Rumble a few years ago.
Sure.
That would have been I think that would have been an interesting match too.
More interesting than Oba Femi now.
No, absolutely
Right now?
not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Brock and Keith Lee then, more interesting than Brock and Oba Femi now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think they're both interesting matches right now. Oba Femi, I give the scale tipping in his favor too. I see the similarities between both of them, and it would be a way to elevate a young guy who is a monster who can take out another monster. Now, if there's another guy who I would put before Brock Lesnar, if he was still in the WWE currently, it would have been Karrion Kross. I think Karrion Kross and Oba Femi would also be a money match.
Oh, come on. What about Braun Strowman?
We'll have him face Omos.
Let's bring back Snitsky.
Haven't we already seen that?
Yeah, and wasn't it boring as hell because neither of them are actually athletic? So moving on to this NXT Championship match now.
Didn't we finish
Because
with that?
I thought
no, we did it because we didn't talk about the fact that, apparently on this channel there's no interest in the match I propose. But so how interested are you guys in knowing that Ricky Saints defeated Oba Femi? Probably the second time he's been pinned the entire time he's in NXT.
Yeah.
Definitely caught me off guard.
Yeah, like I kind of, so one of the Discord channels, I've talked about before, they do a pick'em thing, and I kind of picked Ricky Saints to win it because I'm kind of like, well, it feels like they're kind of doing it, but he only has to look good in the match, and I feel like Oba Femi could have other things going on with this invasion angle, but no, Ricky Saints wins the championship, which does open up Oba Femi to be a part of the Survivor Series match.
Right.
It does now open up the doors for him to do more currently within the brand. Because I feel like after we get out of this invasion angle, now that would be the perfect time to do call-ups. Let's see where these guys are going up against, much more established talent in the TNA roster. Because a lot of these NXT talents, even though there is youth, there is, like Ethan Page. He's been doing it for how long now? We see some of these competitors, Jordan Grace, a lot of experience on that roster currently, just from other brands across the world.
Yeah, TNA.
I mean, Jordan Grace has wrestled in other places, but okay.
No, I know. But you mentioned Ethan Page and Jordan Grace, and I was like, oh yeah, they were both in TNA.
Yeah, Ethan Page, AEW.
Right. Yeah.
As
of course.
well. I believe he did some New Japan stuff at some point, but
That wouldn't
they're just these more established wrestling stars, and that it'll be interesting to see where that goes from there. Which is why I think the call up for Oba is coming. It's just now probably not going to be till later toward the end of the year, if not in the beginning of the new year. Because now he doesn't need a championship. He's had both top singles championships. Like, after this whole TNA thing, or even during it, we're getting to the end. It would be a blow to NXT if Oba Femi got called up during this invasion angle, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
during this war, that would be a blow to that brand.
I could see him winning the TNA title at
But
some point, like in the near future.
my problem comes if you were going to do that, you should have just had him beat Trick and then go on to face Santana in a triple threat match with Trick getting his rematch. Instead, and because then Oba's going to drop the NXT title to Oba Femi anyway. If this was the plan the whole time and there was no like final changes or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I think both TNA, Victory Road, this whole angle going forward is absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward because it's going to be much needed experience for a lot of these NXT talents who are also a lot of NIL talents.
Yeah.
You know, who might not have even been fans of wrestling growing up. You know, got scouted, came in, and fell in love with it.
Yeah. We'll see.
October 7th will be a good show. I can't wait to see what NXT does this week to hype it all up. Same thing with TNA. I expect a lot of crossover going forward. And and I would love for this to lead into a PLE style special for NXT and TNA Survivor Series weekend where they use that same arena. Oh no, that's the baseball stadium, isn't it? For Survivor Series.
I have no idea where Survivor Series is.
It's in San Diego. They're doing it outdoors.
Okay.
I would love to see them come up with a way to be able to use that and actually have NXT versus TNA War Games match. Because I suspect they only have one cage to be able to use for the show. And I don't see NXT selling out a baseball stadium.
Well, hey, I mean, if they have everything there and have it all set up, then why not just use the infrastructure that's there and just sell some extra tickets while you got everything there?
Because you don't want that stadium to still look empty for NXT. So they might build a second cage and bring a fourth ring.
Well, I mean,
why not? As many rings as we can have. We'll hold multiple matches at the same time.
You have everybody just, down on the infield, and you just have it like an intimate camera angle.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they would do. But, it would be the idea. Imagine like Royal Rumble weekend, right? Because NXT usually runs a show. The year Edge came back.
Yeah.
They were in a baseball stadium. I think that was Seattle. Oh, no,
maybe.
that was Houston. I think that was Houston. Wherever it was. Like the setup of it, it's just really weird where it's hard to hide a lot of those angles for the entranceway if they do it, as compared with just a normal arena. You can have the cameras angled properly. But I wouldn't put it past WWE at this point with a lot of their standards and practices of what they've been doing to run a War Game style match for NXT that same weekend. And actually, because now you can charge more for NXT tickets too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's pretty much it on that front. I guess we could talk some main roster real quick while we have time for Raw and SmackDown, because as you can see, between all of us, that may have been not that they weren't interesting. There were just things that topped what happened on Raw and SmackDown this week. Out of a horrible 3 count that should have been, that wasn't type deal.
That was the most memorable part of both shows for me, for the main roster shows.
Yeah. But we do know at Crown Jewel in Perth, we have 2 matches already announced. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins for the Crown Jewel Championship. Cody Rhodes actually gets to defend his ring. Mm-hmm. And then, after SmackDown this week, Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton. Raw opens up this week with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins having a nice little face-off, Seth
because that's how Raw always opens up.
Yes. Seth calls Cody his QB since Cody likes to be QB1. I do like how they went over their history in that promo with each other. Cody gave a lot of respect to Seth, saying, if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't be here right now, from facing you at WrestleMania in my return to being my shield when I needed it most. Mm-hmm. I'm very interested to revisit this match, even if it's just a one-off, because both these guys have come a far way since then.
Yep.
Interesting enough, though, they are both champions now. which was something we didn't have in that build-up to Cody
True.
eventually dethroning Roman and winning the championship. What else? We had Penta and the War Raiders defeat Grayson Waller and New Day. We had a nice little... I like the segment with Judgment Day this week. Like, it seems like there is some real fracturing happening within that group.
It's been coming for a while.
Yeah, I feel like Finn's trying to be the leader again, but he's more doing it as to manipulate everybody around him to do what he wants, more than just stepping up and saying, look, we need a leader now. We're all doing our own thing for no reason. We need to get organized. Let me lead this group. That's what he should be doing. It looks like they're really souring on Dom, but as we have kind of talked about, in the past, with how much heat Dom had as a heel, we're starting to see face reactions. We saw it at WrestleMania when he won the Intercontinental Championship. He probably got the biggest pop of that night at WrestleMania, and then the pop when he debuted in AAA, let alone winning the AAA Mega Championship.
Yeah.
We got Bayley versus Roxanne Perez. Bayley defeats her, and then we kind of get Crazy Bayley now again. Like the transitions that Bayley does during these segments are absolutely good. Like, they are not bad by any means. Lyra just has to stop reacting. I saw this video online where somebody was like, Lyra, look at the door, like look at Bayley's locker room door like you've never seen a locker room door before. Like, the whole guy just like he's calling the whole thing to go down there in an earpiece was absolutely great in this video.
Yeah.
Bayley, get off the couch as slowly as possible. Like, if you think you might be getting off too fast, like, slow down.
You guys, real quick, talk about the Rusev and JD match, because I thought that was a good match, and I will be right back.
Yeah, hard hitting. A lot of fun in that one. But what do we get?
We got a giant head.
I don't have any notes in front of me. I'm doing this.
Me neither. I didn't know I was going to be forced to discuss this match. I was probably, honestly, I forget what comic book I was reading while this match was on.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like it was a fine match that I kind of paid attention to.
Oh, so this is the one. That's what I was trying to remember. This is the one where Dom could have run in and helped, but he.
Oh, okay.
He just kind of like walked away. So they're definitely planting the seeds of dissension for the Judgment Day, but they've been doing that for since the beginning of the Judgment Day. So,
yes.
I don't know how seriously to take it, but it does look like Dom's going to be moving on to bigger and better things soon. Liv isn't due back for a little while, so that whole thing is on ice.
Yeah, I'm going to say it. I'd be fine if Judgment Day just kind of imploded at this point. It's fine. Yeah, we had our fun. They had their run. Everyone splits off and does their own thing now. That's fine.
Finn and JD, they've been tight for years. They could have their own tag team or whatever, or go solo.
Yeah,
the ladies really they were reluctant to tag together to begin with. They only did it because they were incumbent champions.
So, but it seemed to work out. And then
we don't need all of it.
Yeah, and as far as Dom, he's the next Eddie Guerrero. He's following in his father's footsteps.
Oh yeah, no, he's already a legend in the making.
Yeah. Where y'all at here? Talking about the end of the match?
Well, I had mentioned that. It took us a while to remember anything. But Tom was on the apron and he could have helped out, but he failed.
Oh, yeah, that was a very interesting part of that match, and even Finn confronts him about that.
So we got to them planting the seeds of the Judgment Day breakup, but then again, they've been doing that the whole time the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Another match I thought was really good from this week: Jey Uso versus LA Knight.
Yeah. That happened.
Yeah. I liked the backstage thing with Rollins and Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch just pacing back and forth, talking to Seth and complaining about the things that Cody said and everything because it got into his head. Now, this is something I wanted to talk about. And BJ, you are the person specifically that I want to talk about.
Horror.
So, a video package aired this week talking about a lot of history in AAA and everything. And this ends with the El Grande Americanos becoming a stable, Los Grandes. You know, we have now confirmed there are multiple El Grande Americanos.
One of whom is Chad Gable.
One of whom is
Nobody knows
Ludwig
that.
Kaiser. He admitted
Nobody
it at a baseball game in an interview.
He did. Accidentally.
He did. Yeah,
He messed
yeah.
up.
He let the cat out the bag.
He was concussed. He didn't know what he was talking about in that interview.
Sure.
He was
Are you
talking
his
about
doctor?
Triple Mania.
Yeah, sure.
I
Stable
abso-
of
I-
Americanos.
I
Just
absolutely
call it
love that.
Starbucks.
Yeah. I just absolutely love the idea that they're embracing this, and I really can't wait for Chad Gable to return, and I hope this is all still going, because I want him out as El Grande Americano. Like, guys, what the hell is going on here? But what I did absolutely love about that there was a moment where they did the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
It had to happen.
Yeah. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah, and then earlier in the night we had a backstage thing with the Kabuki Warriors. Rhea appears as well. It sets up a match between her and Asuka. Which again, I will say, I love this whole thing with the Kabuki Warriors. Asuka just walks off angry. Kairi's just sitting there being all apologetic. And then you just hear, Kairi! And she just scurries off. Like, absolutely great. But in that bit of a backstage segment, you hear Kairi telling Io that, hey, if it wasn't for Asuka, we wouldn't be here at all. You know? And then we get to the
I
main
don't know
event.
how true that is.
Well, I would assume it's somewhere along the lines of after Asuka's run in NXT. Think about it. That did open up the doors for probably Kairi Sane to come in, Io to come in. Because they all were separate. They were all kind of separate eras of NXT. And it all culminated together on the main roster.
Right. Well, I mean, they were, if I'm not mistaken, Kairi and Asuka were a tag team in NXT, as well as Kairi and Io.
Asuka and I believe Kairi were also a team in Japan.
Right. But yeah, so I mean, yeah.
But yeah, so we get to the end of Raw. Main event, Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Rhea Ripley picks up the win, but that's not the only thing that happened. After the match, Asuka uses the mist on Rhea, makes her look like a giant Avatar character. And we get her and Io reluctantly attacking Rhea. And this happens until Io comes out. She tries to split it up. And then they take out Io. Again, Kairi Sane being kind of reluctant in doing all this. So, obviously, Asuka has turned heel. The real question now is, where does Kairi stand in all this? Is this the breakup of the Kabuki Warriors coming? Or does Kairi reluctantly stay falling in line because she feels like she owes Asuka her career?
Yeah, I feel like Kairi's going to maintain the submissive, Asuka fangirl.
For lack
All
of
right,
better
all right.
terminology. Yes.
Yeah, I botched that one. I'm sorry.
So just real quick, I want to run down Smackdown real quick, just a couple quick things, and then get to this PWI top 10 out of the 500.
Oh, yeah.
I brought up the Paul Heyman thing earlier with Cody. You know, that segment ended up ending with the Bronze trying to take out Cody, but Randy Orton comes out, makes the save. We had the Street Profits defeat Miz and Carmelo Hayes in a number 1 contenders tag team match. But Miz tagged himself in and then ends up getting pinned. Mello could have made the save and doesn't. It looks like this team's finally breaking up.
Yeah, about time.
The Wyatts also appeared after the match. You know, Street Profits, now number 1 contenders, get the opportunity to get those titles back.
Again.
Yeah, we had Kiana James and Julia defeat Meechin and B-Fab. No surprise.
No, none.
I thought the Drew promo this week was really good. And it stuck to the whole idea that he blames Cody for his loss. You know, he blames everybody else but himself for losing, you know. But and then we
seem to be very much the Highlander way.
But we get Nick Aldis coming out while he's complaining. Even Aldis is like, I'm tired of hearing you complain. But that's not the only person to come out. We get the return of Jacob Fatu.
Okay.
And Fatu, McIntyre hits him with a headbutt, and then they start to fight, and Fatu comes out on top. So it looks like going forward, we got Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, which is a great feud.
Oh, yeah. It's a great way to elevate Fatu. McIntyre doesn't need the help, you know, but it's a great way to put Fatu over.
Oh, yeah. We got another solo video package. It seems like whatever plans they have for them seems like it may have changed now, and something's going. Excuse me, whether it's an injury or something, you know, they're kind of slow burning this MFT thing now, which I'm fine with, you know, because there's plenty of other stuff going on at the moment. We had a Sami Zayn U.S. Open Challenge, and the man that answered the challenge, Javon Evans. And for the
Smackdown debut.
Hold on. And for the second time in back-to-back weeks, Sami Zayn hits the haluva kick and then wins with a blue thunder bomb.
What?
Yep.
And it's suddenly an actual move that wins matches?
And not just in WWE 2K.
Yeah, right?
We get a backstage segment with Nia, Chelsea and Alba trying to recruit Nia onto their team. We got
about that.
We got another. I think it was Kit Wilson who Priest put through the wall last week, right? We get a segment with him and Damian Priest. Aleister Black comes out of nowhere, attacks Priest, so we know that feud's definitely not over, thank God, because just like Rusev and Sheamus, I can watch probably them go at it all week. And we already talked about the main event of that with the referee spot and everything. Yep. So now, we're going to probably run a little over our usual 2 hours again this week, because next now, the PWI Top 500. This is a yearly thing that comes out this time of year.
We're not doing all 500, folks. Don't worry.
No. But I would just like to name the top 10, and I'll start at 10 and work my way up to 1. And then I'll do some honorable mentions, and you guys can react. At number 10, Will Ospreay.
Okay.
Number 9, Mystico. Yes. Number 8, Seth Rollins. Number 7, Swerve Strickland.
Okay.
Number 6, Jey Uso.
No.
Number 5, Haruki Goto. Not sure if I pronounced that. I think he's a New Japan guy. Number 4, current AEW World Champion Adam Page. Well, Seth Rollins also current WWE World Champion. And now the top 3. Number 3, Gunther. Number 2, Jon Moxley. And number 1, the American Nightmare, current undisputed WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes. And just really quick, I want to give you the next 5, 11 through 15.
Okay.
Sure.
Because I feel like all 4 of these 5 names deserve to be in that top 10, if not all 5 as well. Okay. Okada at number 11. Joe Hendry at number 12. Which, good spot. I feel like that's a good spot for him. If not, I would have put him at 10 if it was me personally. But I do understand how they do these rankings, so...
Well, you got to put Ospreay ahead of Joe Hendry, so he would have had to been like 8 or 7 at that point.
I mean, there's a couple surprises in that top 10, which, you know...
Yeah,
number...
Jey Uso.
No, yes, but I mean... Gunther, for their thing, was only half the year, so yeah, him being up there, I kind of have a problem with, but at the same time, I
top
don't.
20, but not top 10. Jey Uso, maybe top 30.
No. Jey Uso's had a hell of a run over the past year. I think top 10's good for him. I'm actually
the best matches.
I'm actually more surprised he's not in the top 5. Just personally, not for any specific reason, just outside of the popularity and the moments he's been given. But yeah, so number 13, Zack Sabre Jr., who I think should be kind of higher on the list.
Yeah.
Number 14, Oba Femi, and number 15, CM Punk. Oba Femi, I would probably leave right outside the top 10 still, because he's not main roster. So I wouldn't expect a non-main roster guy to be in the top 10 WWE wise.
All right, we are not familiar with the 2 Japanese guys that they have on that list, so we have to assume that they belong on that list. So we have to say,
Goto or whatever is the only guy I'm not familiar with. Everybody else I am.
Okay, I am not familiar. There were 2 names on there that I was not familiar with, so I'm going to have to assume that those 2 belong on there because they were put on that list by people who know more about this than I do. But Cody is the one that I agree with the most, him getting the number 1 spot. Beyond that, there are changes I could make up and down that whole list and move people around. Like Ospreay, I would probably have, like I said, up around like 7, which feels more right to
top 5.
I'm
not sure about top 5, but I feel like 7, maybe 6 would be right around my spot for Ospreay. Moxley, yeah, he did control that AEW championship and the Death Riders for a while. I'm not sure I want him in my top 5, but I might have to put him at like number 5.
He's been featured in a lot of high storylines, one of the bigger storylines. So I understand why he's in there. I have no problem with him even being in the top 5. Top 3, might be more my issue with him, but I understand why.
Yeah.
A Swerve, I feel like should probably be a bit higher. Will Ospreay, I feel should have been a little bit higher.
Absolutely.
Hangman,
I might have put him at like number 4 ahead of Moxley.
He was number 4.
So then, I basically would have swapped Moxley right below him.
I'd go higher with Hangman.
I would have given Hangman the number 3. I would give him the number 3 because Gunther hasn't been around for half the year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Why is Gunther top 3? He hasn't competed. They go from, I think, October to September of their year run. Gunther hasn't been seen in how long? Since SummerSlam?
Yeah.
I feel like that should kind of go a little bit, and I would put Hangman in that top 3 with the story they told with him over the past year.
I got Hangman outside of the top 5.
Oh, okay, so you're lowering Hangman.
Yeah.
Some other notable: Takeshita at 17, Priest 18, Williams 19, Jacob Fatu 20.
Yeah.
MJF's at 30.
No, he's outside my top 10.
Just looked. Dirty Dom made it into the top 50 at 48.
Where's Orange Cassidy?
Who?
He's not remembered in the top 50 this year.
Orange
Cassidy. Hold on, actually, I did see his name on this list. A notable name that we know made the list in the top 200 being Jordan Oliver.
Nice. Good for Jordan. Nice. On the come up.
Because I did see his name on this list.
Yeah, deservedly so.
Because I saw Orange's
friend
name.
of the show, Jordan Oliver.
Yeah, Jordan Oliver was at 195.
Nice. Okay.
I'm just looking for. Hey, one of my favorites, Psycho Clown, 222.
Beautiful.
But yeah, looking through this list is one of the first few, like, especially going further down the list. I'm just like, I feel like for the most part, they may have gotten this list right this year, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. We went through the top 10 and I did not hear Rick F. and Blade once.
And I think Simon Miller should have been way higher than number 500.
Let's see here. I know I saw his name. Simon Miller's 350.
Oh, he was okay. I thought I heard he was 500. All right, that's reasonable.
Oh well, PWI is glad you approved.
I'm trying to get a job there.
Let's do. I could. Caleb Calmley from JCW.
Nice.
447.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I didn't see Kofi's name on this list, but Xavier Woods made it at 461.
Interesting.
I really hope he brings that up on Raw this week. Oh, another person that we have met and we know, Declan Grant, 484.
Nice.
Oh, very cool.
We saw him last week.
And we're going to see him coming up in October.
Which, yes,
I
which
actually asked him if he
speaking
wanted to come
of,
on the show last week, and he just kind of gave me a.
which now, speaking of, October 25th, PWU
The
Haunted
Zombie King. Nice.
will be, the Zombie King will be making his official debut for PWU. And all this taking place Mount Holly, New Jersey, Pro Wrestling Star Academy.
Nice
Get your
afternoon bell
tickets
time so the whole family can make it.
Yep, and get your tickets at PWU Unplugged, and that U is also part of the word unplugged.
PW
kinda
Unplugged.
Yeah, there we go. That is a better way to say it. Thank you there, Chef.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a lot
Lord.
easier than saying PWU Unplugged.
Yeah. Helter Skelter making his return after what happened after the JP Grayson Johnny Cashmere Falls Count Anywhere match. And as you saw on our review show,
Angel Orsini, the Guma.
will be making her return to PWU as well. And we already have 3 matches signed for this event. We have Rick Blade, as just mentioned, defending his world championship against one half of the new backseats, JP Grayson. We
That's a
also,
main event right there.
and as was breaking news on our review show as well, Pat Dynamite defending the Skywalker Championship
Against PWU Top 500.
Hey, come on, man. I was there. I was getting it out.
Too slow.
What do you mean? You didn't even give me the chance. Can't be too slow. Against challenger Declan Grant.
From the PWI 500.
And also announced the third match that was announced that we told you to keep an eye out for. Kid Legend will be taking on Face in a grudge match. And these two have had beef with each other since the SPO Silver Anniversary of the Backseat show, where Face came out and eliminated Kid Legend in the Battle Royal in a match he wasn't even in.
Yeah, and then this past week, Face comes out and interrupts the match that Kid Legend is being refereeing. You can't have that. Face, and Kid start brawling all the way to the back. This is where we are.
And also, if you would like to see the JP Grayson versus Johnny Cashmere match, go to the SPO SPO YouTube page. Thank you. And go check it out. They have just that match there posted and ready to be viewed. It was a great match. There are perspectives of that match of how this version of it was recorded that does show the outside spots that were not able to be shown during the live viewing of the show. So I highly recommend going and checking that out.
Yeah. You get to see what I saw.
Otherwise, a lot happened in wrestling this week. I think that we're going to be in for another busy week. It was so busy. There was stuff I wanted to post shorts about online and stuff, recapping certain things, and there was just no time to do it.
Yeah.
We have a lot going on, and just as always, as I mentioned, if you're interested in being in the pro wrestling business and you live in New Jersey, the Philadelphia area,
Delaware, New York, wherever you feel like driving to Mount Holly from.
The Pro Wrestling Star Academy. Come check it out. Which one of our trainers who is currently on the road in South America right now, Gabby Gilbert, who's usually there Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Mondays and Wednesdays, it's the current Silver Skywalker champion, Pat Dynamite.
Along with former Silver Skywalker champion Johnny Cashmere.
And we can officially announce now that in 2 weeks, BJ and DG Talk Wrestling, episode 45, will be making its official debut on Twitch. We will be simulcasting on here and there as well, because we would like to grow this channel and bring more people in who, like us, just want to talk wrestling.
So watch us on multiple platforms at the same time. Get your devices ready.
Just real quick,
Be
guys,
quiet,
from what you saw this week, match of the week.
Oh,
I'm
DJ,
going.
you got anything? DG, yeah, go ahead.
Ricky Saints and Oba Femi. That was a great main event. It was a great way to cap that off, and we have a lot of big things coming with that brand. TNA had a great show. Like, a lot of stuff has been great across the line outside of how some shows are cookie cutter.
Callis family versus Conglomerate.
Nice.
All right.
That was a lot of fun. Return of Orange Cassidy. Yeah.
I am going to go with Frankie Kazarian winning that international belt off of Steve Macklin. That was a hell of a fight. Those two put it all out there. Congratulations to the King for getting a new crown.
All right. And on that note, everybody, be good to each other. Do some good out in that world. Just be good to each other. You never know what anybody else is going through. And we have another hold on. Also, just to keep a lookout for our preview show for PWU Haunted as well, because just like we did with Studio Session, we will be doing a preview and review show for that as well. That show will be October 21st.
For the preview show.
Yes.
Not for the actual show. The actual event?
No,
the 25th.
is October. Yes, yeah. We just covered the actual event. Well, are you not here, man?
Where am I?
Chef's not here, man.
Hey, when did you guys get here?
Hey, oh shit! Somebody took out the ref.
How'd everybody
We're refless. There's nobody to ring the bell. All right, and on that note, everybody, we are out of here. Have a good week.
Ring the bell.
Oh yeah, one more thing. We done bored.
Everybody watching, I'm gonna need you to visit www.freakkings.com. Check out all the merch. And before you do that, I'm gonna need you to check out PJDG YouTube and Instagram. And while you're doing that, you won't have to remember the name, cause you'll remember the face.
Ha 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 ha!